What's up? It's Lip Service. I'm Angela Yee. That's Stephanie Santiago and Gigi Maguire, and it's time for Women on Top. Now, today we're giving a deli-on toast to somebody who y'all know I'm a big fan of, Clarissa Shields from Flint, Michigan. Now, I know y'all know she had her first MMA fight, and she did win by a TKO in the third round. It was her long-awaited MMA debut. It was last week on Thursday night, but she did have some adversity in the first couple of rounds. But what I love about Clarissa Shields is she is definitely the GWOAT, okay? The GWOAT, the greatest woman of all time. And she's made history as the fastest boxer, male or female, to win titles in 3 weight classes. All right, now, after Showtime refused to reschedule her canceled fight last year or put her back on the network, she decided to do her own event, and she had an all-women's night. So it was the first time in almost 2 decades, not since Layla Ali fought back in June of 2001, that women's boxing headlined a pay-per-view card, and she did that all on her own. So I love that she is so active as far as making sure that other women get the opportunity. But not only that, when it comes to men or women, like I said, she has titles in 154, 160, and 168. She has made history as the fastest boxer to get all 3 of those weight classes. So let's give a cheers to Clarissa Shields.
Cheers.
What's up, guys? It's Lip Service. I'm Angela Yee.
I'm Gigi Maguire.
I'm Stephanie Santiago.
And I'm Sabrina Sidoti.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hey, Sabrina.
How are you ladies doing?
Good. We were just talking about how we cannot wait to get back to doing interviews in person. And I think in a couple of weeks, we probably going to be back on that, so we can drink our deli on together, face to face. But how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm managing over here in South Florida. We've been kind of wide open. Mm-hmm. So it's for each their own,
Now, Sabrina, you have such a fascinating life, I have to say, because I feel like you've done it all. So I want to make sure that people listening to Lip Service. I
kind of feel like I've done it all too, in a way that I'm like, maybe I need to what else do I have to do now? Or it's crazy because when I tell my story to people, I don't realize that it's different or not common. And that's why I started sharing more. But this is the first show that I'm actually publicly speaking out on a bunch of main topics.
Oh, wow.
Good. Well, we're very honored to have you. And this is a safe space, and we like to have a good time because it is Lip Service.
Absolutely.
So let's just give people some background of who you are. It all starts with your family. So let's start there.
Okay. So so let me start then. When I was growing up as a child, I guess growing up into a teen, we pay attention to our mom and dad. We pay attention to a lot of different things, and sometimes we don't talk about it. We'll like to observe. Well, in an Italian Sicilian family, that's already a given. My mom was a housewife. She's known my dad since she was 14. He was 19. And it's you get married and zip it. And so growing up, I grew up around that type of environment where the women weren't so boisterous or outspoken or asking questions. So I had to grow up like that, and I've changed a whole lot since though. So I knew my dad was into different job or different lifestyle. I would always ask, Mommy, what does Daddy do? He's a bookkeeper. I'm like, bookkeeper? No, he's a bookie. He's a very well-known bookie. And I wouldn't even want to say some of his clients or who they were. But, I was Daddy's girl. So he used to bring me to the racetrack. He owned the horses, the harness. I used to be around his friends that have nicknames. I didn't know that was weird, or odd, Boca Bob or Carbone or Johnny Cirillo Sideburns, and because that's my godfather, and so growing up around all of this, I didn't know it wasn't common or it wasn't normal. So I was Daddy's girl. He would bring me around a lot of different situations. Because I'm more like him, how can I say I'm more street smart, more streets, and that's how I was raised.
Right.
So when my dad was first arrested was when I was about 14 years old, 15. Of course, I wasn't told why he was arrested, but then I was like, well, let me do a little research. Now, we don't have cell phones or nothing then to do that. So, you have to kind of like just ears, pay attention. And the family broke up. Everything, everything changes once somebody gets in trouble. Okay. So then my dad started back doing what he was doing. He drove a taxi cab. He was taking the action and numbers, and I had to get a job. I mean, I had to learn at a very young age. Okay, at 15, I want to work. So I'm like, I want to get out there. So at 14, I had a newspaper route because I just wanted to work so bad,
but you didn't want to be in the family business?
Well, no, I actually, that would have been kind of cool, I think. I mean, maybe that's too adventurous for a female, but I think back now that if my dad was still alive, would I have been brought in more so because of how I am? And we can get to a lot of different topics about like incarceration when I did my time, how I didn't cooperate because of my upbringing. I did 10 years. So basically, my dad went on the run. And of course, I didn't know it wasn't normal for daddy to have a shotgun in the trunk. I didn't know things weren't normal, like my dad had leather gloves that he's driving with. He also had a special mask that I'm waiting to get from my mom.
Wow.
I said, Mom, I need dad's slugger. I want dad's mask. I want certain things just because that's how I remember him. And it's kind of like, I know some people are like, what? That's crazy. But no, listen, it's not crazy. You can't judge. Everybody's raised differently. And
you didn't know anything different. And Sabrina, I got to ask you. Yeah. So you knew not to talk to anybody about anything that was going on at home?
Nothing. No. Yes. Like you just don't.
Right. What about dating at that age? Like,
so daddy would pick up the phone and hang up the phone. You hear a boy, hang it up.
No boys allowed.
No, and that was a little rough too, But then again, we're at a different stage of life now. I'm 47 in November, so that was when I was like 14 years old, 15 and 16. So when my dad was a fugitive, we actually, my mom, my sister, and myself, we would follow my dad to different hotels and motels while he's being watched. And we don't know this till afterwards, of course. Daddy gets on a flight and he goes. Right. Of course, the cops come to us, ask us questions. I'm like shutting the door. Nope, because I'm not talking to no police. There is no way in hell. And plus, at that point, I didn't like them. I didn't like them because I took it personal because that was my daddy.
Right.
You don't know any better when you're growing up,
Hey, where we're from, we don't like the police either. I just want to put that out there.
I'm just keeping it real, I mean, now it might be different as well, but when it's part of your family and it's being broken up and you feel like you're being targeted, you know what? I didn't like them either at all. Matter of fact, I called my dad's business line one day and a cop picked up the phone. And I was like, who is this? I started yelling, like, who is this? And he was being wise, like smart. And I started cursing him out. I hung up the phone. And after I hung up the phone, that's when I found out they raided my dad's, one of his homes that he used as an office to do the action and numbers. I mean, he had like an illegal gambling place. He had horses. He had restaurants.
So y'all had money. You grew up with some money.
So now we talk about the money part. So is it called wealthy? No, but it's called cash money on the spot. Like bags of money. Like you got that cash, that dirty money, and like I was used to seeing stacks, I was used to my dad carrying around $100,000 in a pouch like nothing. I guess nowadays people do carry around a lot of money, but back then.
Not like that, yeah.
Right, that's a lot. And then how do you date a guy after all that when you're daddy's little girl, he's carrying around hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're used to seeing stacks of cash, then who do you date?
Well, so dating, I was of course, I'm very curious about men growing up and really want to know. Like, I mean, I'm very diverse anyway. So I had a hard time, dating and stuff too, because of the many things that I was going through as a child. Mm-hmm. So I think I basically looked at men for different things. And how can I say, for attention. Mm-hmm. I needed some more
fill a void.
And I've learned that now many, many moons about myself, like we learn so much. And I'm still learning, by the way. Okay. So I'm like, wait a minute. When does it stop? About men. When does it stop? So push came to shove. My dad was away for 15 years as a fugitive.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. So my sister and I would go visit him.
So he ducked the police for 15 years?
Hell yeah.
And this is, how old were you during this time?
He did.
What was the age range of you and your sister during those years that your dad was on the run?
So first at 14, I was 14. She's 2 years younger. She's a school teacher now. Family and everything, very nice,
For most of your teenage and young adult years, you lived with knowing that your father was evading the police and living in different places. Wow.
Yeah, and it was like kind of like at some point I knew I had to really like just be on my own, especially once he left the country. My mom, since she's been with him her entire life, my mom's tough. Like
this is a movie. I feel like I'm watching a movie right now.
Right.
Like all of this is like playing in my head as you're telling us all these things, and like, yeah,
and I would tell people the story still to this day. Like just people that are around me, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Like I didn't realize. So I guess thank you, but I like sharing. I like sharing because I couldn't do this as a child or as a teen or adult.
You held this in for so long.
And my dad has passed away, so now there's no holds barred.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so when you went to jail for 10 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So this was what was this for? Drugs?
Yeah, this was a conspiracy. Conspiracy is like kind of what he was wanted for as well. Conspiracy is a blanket. I learned so much about the law that I had no idea about.
Everything is conspiracy, I feel like.
Correct.
If they want you, it's conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
They're gonna figure out a way.
And conspiracy gets you more time than actually having something on you, by the way. So weird.
So what was it that they said that you did? Like, or, what did you know? Or
okay. So this was about drugs. So first I got in trouble about the drug charges. Drugs, conspiracy. So I started in my 20s. Like in my 20s, I started fast life. Let's have fun, party, woo! I'm in South Florida. Yeah. I'm in South Florida. So I'm going to South Beach. I'm going to this club. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm staying up. I'm having a great time. And I don't care what no one thinks. So I'm doing my thing around the wrong people.
Were you using drugs?
Yeah. Yeah. I was partying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was partying pretty hard back then. Pretty darn hard. And I think it's, you don't blame anyone else for how your actions and stuff. I've learned you own the responsibility for everything that you do. Everything. I don't care what you're doing. If you decide to do it, you own up to that. So yeah, I partied hard. I thought not that I was invincible, but I believe from men problems, because I was engaged at one time and abused. I believe with all that going on, when I got out of the relationship of being engaged to a wealthy millionaire, let's just say it, and I was he was my father figure.
Right. Was he a lot older than you also?
He was, yeah.
What was the age difference?
He was 55, I was 25.
Woo!
Wow.
Okay.
Right. So my dad's out of the country.
Right.
He's the same age as my mom.
Filling the void. Daddy's girl needed daddy all over again.
Right. And
I'm sure
this is all very real.
Made it much more better, I'm sure, to deal with.
But it's so real. And once you look back at all this, you're like, I had issues. And the partying. And after I broke up with the fiance, it was very difficult to do, but I had to. Mm-hmm. I had to stand up for myself because once a man. So
tell us.
Okay, sorry.
Can you give us more details? Give us more details on why you had to. What was happening that you were I finally have to get out of this.
Well, okay, so I became dependent on him. Very dependent first of all. And he at one point he didn't want me to work, and then he's like, and I'm like, oh, let me go to school then. Let me go back to school. Like he could pay for my school, his daughter's school, it don't matter. He didn't want to pay for my school, and I wanted to be an interior designer, you know. So I went there, I filled out the application, I was happy. I'm like, here, babe. Nope. So basically, it was kind of like, okay, so now what?
That's always a sign of a controlling man when he doesn't want you to work. He wants to control the finances. He wants to make sure you're up under him and you need him so he could do whatever he wants. So you're just stuck and you feel stuck.
Don't we? Right.
Right. So then at one point he's like, well, maybe you need to get like a part-time job. And I'm like, where do you want me to work? Like, I'm like, I was like, what do you want me to do? Because it's going to take away from you. And he'd get very jealous because he wanted, this is the way I guess men are at times. If they have you where they want you, that's what they want. That's how they, you know, like they're not going to have it any other way. And so push comes to shove, and you can only do it so much as a woman, no matter what age. And it just became abusive. Like he cheated on me. I recognized that's how he is as a man. Now, I know that you ladies know, like there's men that they do all different types of things, all different.
Right.
And we choose to deal with what we choose to deal with. Okay. Now, if you want to call it love, we can call it love. If you want to call it loyalty, we can call it that too. But at some point, you have to take a step back and say, is what I'm doing correct? Is it good for me? Is it healthy? So,
Sabrina, how bad was the cheating and how did you find out?
Oh, wow. So the cheating was pretty darn bad. It was so bad to an extent that I said, listen, here's a box of Trojans.
Oh, wow.
Please.
Here's a box of Trojans. Please do not have anything unprotected and put me at risk at anything if you're going to do this.
Were women calling you and telling you, or like what was happening? How did you know?
Well, okay, it got better. I would check the box, and yes, they were missing.
Check the box.
I did.
Oh, the condoms. You gave him the condoms. Well, you gave them to him with the intentions on having him use them, so you had to know something.
Right. So if he uses them, okay, great. Yeah. Thanks, babe. Okay, but no, that means I gotta be quiet, right? And I'm just saying, okay. See, this is where it all comes into play. And then Fisher Island is a very nice place in Miami. Yeah. Okay, so he used to go to Fisher Island a lot on his yacht, and you know, and his friends. So I remember it was the week of my birthday. Very tragic. I'm not sure if you ladies want to hear all this, but I'm going to say it. Yeah. So it took me 5 years to even talk about it. Wow. So I took the ferry over, you know, in my little Jaguar 25 that he got me. You know, just that everything was just so. It was my birthday week. Great. Get there, and all of a sudden I'm like, he had to tell me something. I got to tell you this before any of the guys do, like when we're having dinner. I'm like, okay, babe, what's going on? I had some girls over last night. You know, they were all on the boat and stuff. I'm like, okay. Like, you don't, like, you have to, like, just compose yourself for a moment. I mean, what am I going to do? Like, freak out? Let me compose, since I'm good at that. And we went to have dinner, and I lost it. We went back to the boat, the yacht, and I lost it. I just started crying. I can't believe, because it was a girl I knew. It was a girl I knew from high school.
Ain't it always that, Gigi?
The disrespect. Woo, child.
Yes, my birthday week, a girl from high school, and like, I'm just like, but at least he told me, right? Bullshit.
She told you.
No, he told me.
He told you. Oh, and you try to justify things, right? It's not so bad what he did tell me.
Right. And this is how he, you know, so that night, as soon as I started crying, he just grabbed me by my neck, started strangling me. I was looking at his eyes. I ripped his hands off my neck, and he started kicking me up and down the yacht. I had bruises. I took photos, everything. And I was devastated. I took all my shit, and I went right, I went right the car, the ferry at like 2 a.m. I don't even know what time now, because we were loaded. We were having fun. I'm being strangled. I'm like, and I just went home. I took photos of myself and the next day too, of my neck and everything. And at that point, I'm on my own. I don't know what to do. I called a cop I knew though. I did. I'm like, what do I do here? I don't know what to do. Like I called my mom. I couldn't call my dad right away.
Right.
In the Dominican. He was in the Dominican, my dad, the whole time. So yeah. I mean, so that's what I dealt with then. So when I had to get out of that relationship, it was a very big deal. Very big deal. Like getting back on, working, making money, living at least a decent lifestyle. I owned my own home.
That's great.
I bought my first house at 21.
That's great. At least you did that. That was smart.
Him. Yeah. Let me see what else. I mean, like I can keep going on and on.
But wait, okay. So Sabrina, let's talk about, you did start doing porn also. So how did that happen?
Oh.
I mean, this is lip service, girl.
This is lip service.
You've been busting up in one way or
another. And like I said, no judgment in this room.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm ready for everything.
This is always a safe space.
Look, I even have my phone here just in case I gotta search some more stuff. Okay. So yeah, so adult film. So I am a former adult film star. Okay. And when I was engaged, I was a girl film star. That actually made him feel good. He was a girl, like he didn't feel any like pressure because there was no men.
Right.
But that's my girl. It's hot. Like some men like it, some men don't. Well, he loved it. Because remember, he's a player. Those players gotta love that.
And he's thinking that you could bring some girls into the mix too. Was he thinking that?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. And there's always boundaries. I mean, if you really want to know.
Yeah, tell us the boundaries. We want to know.
My boundaries?
Yeah.
My boundaries are no kissing. No kissing, please. Protection. You have to wear protection. And where she's not staying more than 1 hour.
Okay.
Oh shit. We got 60 minutes, okay? 60-minute menage a trois, okay? 60-minute menage. It's not going no longer than an hour. She got to go.
2 would be
time starts now.
What else are we gonna do in 2 hours? Like, let's just have a little fun and
get your shit and get the fuck out.
Thank you. That's exactly what I said. I said we're gonna have the fun and go. Get out. Kick her out.
But you know what? The girls probably liked you more than him though.
Absolutely they did.
Sure.
And you already know I called some girls that I knew because it's better for me to call girls that I know, that I can trust, that I can be like, okay, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who can you trust? Who can you trust, really?
I don't know anymore. I know. Someone just went, woo.
Me. This is a lot.
So how did you get into adult films though? Like how did it even happen?
Well, probably from speaking to me already, you can tell that I have a little bit of adventurous like in my system.
Yeah.
So I guess black sheep of the family, adventurous, daddy's girl, and I was okay and comfortable with the adult lifestyle. So I'm
sure the money was so good back then. During the time that you were in the industry, the money was good then, right?
Oh yeah. So I did it with Jenna Jameson, like Jenna Jameson.
Oh wow, yeah.
Kelly. Yeah. I was part of like the
top of the line.
Yeah, like when we did events, it was just us girls. Nice. Like there was like 2 handfuls. We'd be signing at the AVNs, and it was just like one like smaller family. Now everybody's doing stuff,
anybody, yeah.
Yeah, but and that's fine too. Things change. So how was your first movie experience? Like the first time that you had to do it, were you nervous? What was it like? How was that? Well, because at one point before I met my ex-fiance, at one point I was an entertainer, so I was comfortable with my body. I was always very comfortable, like comfortable being naked. So, whatever, so I would just I was comfortable being on the set, and for some reason, I can't explain why I am the way that I am, but I look at it as a job. It's work. That's it. Like, it wasn't like, I know some people are like, holy shit. Like, but you're doing everything on, you're opening yourself up to everything. but I was okay with it.
Right.
I was okay with it. And I guess that's all that mattered. My mom was just like, your world is upside down. But she didn't judge me. And that was okay. Everything was good.
Can I ask you, Sabrina, when did you start to enjoy having sex? Because I know sometimes we have sex and we're doing it because we're in a relationship, is what we're supposed to do. But then there's always a point when you actually really like it or love it. When did you enjoy it?
Well, the only time I have ever enjoyed sex, oh my God, this is great questions. The real times was, I'm going to tell you this is crazy. My ex-fiance and I had the bomb sex, the bomb chemistry. And the only other guy that I've ever had chemistry with is my recent ex-boyfriend that we broke up 30 days ago. And he's a public figure and everything too. Yeah. It was great.
Wow. Because, it's so true when we think about sex and like when we first started having it, I don't know that I enjoyed it.
Right.
Because you're still trying to learn it. And then I just remember times that I did enjoy it, like they really stick out so much. But there's so many times that you just do it because it's like, I'm in this relationship, we're supposed to be having sex. And it's not always like amazing.
Chemistry. Yeah. Like, you got to have that. You got to have that. And like when you finally have that one time or even a few times, you're like, wow, that's what it's supposed to be like.
Right.
And it's very funny. I heard that growing up. An older lady, a mature lady said, you know what? You're not going to realize what sex is about until you actually have the right sex. Isn't that something?
Why did you and your ex break up 30 days ago?
Oh, great. Okay, now this is a good one here. So here I am still learning, right? I'm still learning. I'm almost 50 years old. What's wrong with me? No. So getting out of the incarceration was in 2015. Okay, right. March 2015. So I was on 5 years probation. I already knew 5 years I had to be like this. Look, Angel. You're kind of like you move and like do your thing, and there's absolutely no trouble at all because who wants to go back?
And you can't drink because you drink or anything, smoke weed, nothing.
No weed, but you can drink. But I'm not a drinker.
Okay.
So now I started drinking a little bit. Like now I'll drink a little bit because I can't be partying. I got my medical marijuana card. I'll do like gummies at different times, just to chill. Because as you can probably tell, I'm high strung, so I got into a relationship 3 years ago. Well, it was a situationship, they call it now, right?
Yeah.
Is that like, there's all these different terms. Like,
well, was it official? You guys were monogamous?
Well, this is the whole kicker. Because I busted him cheating too. So, okay. So he's an athlete fighter. Okay. He's a professional fighter.
Like MMA or?
Bellator.
Okay.
Okay. So he basically would like kind of search me out a little bit. He's like, and he'd be messaging me. I'm like, who the hell is this? Like, I don't have time right now for all this, because I'm not looking. So, but you know what? Okay, come on.
What's that?
I was like, yes, because he kept trying. But I didn't know that's how he was with all the girls. Okay. Yeah. So, but you know what? I was okay with certain things at first. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, let me do my research. So I'd be looking them up. I'm like, oh God.
That research will do it every time once you start doing them Googles.
And what he started saying was, anything that you read about me is, either some of it's like made up. And I'm like, oh, okay, Anthony. Okay, buddy.
Whatever.
Yeah. So then, but you know what? Because I was on probation and he, so when I met him, he was living out of his storage and didn't even have a car.
Wait, hold on. Slow down.
Okay.
He was living in his storage unit?
This is what happened. Hold on. Yes.
Come on, Sabrina.
I know. Shoot me now, please. No, I didn't know. Okay, so he was with the UFC, retired. I didn't know that much about him yet. So I was like seeing him, and then I started to research. And then I walked outside when he was leaving and I saw an Uber. No, seriously. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know he was all quiet.
Right.
Remember, he private.
He didn't have no windows, no bathroom.
Nothing. So check this. No, so he just got out of a love triangle. Mr. Smooth himself got out of a love triangle that made the media. So now he's barking on a new triangle and trying to add me to it. I don't know if I was at the top or the bottom. Now I realize I was at the bottom. But there was like 4 of us.
Damn.
That's a rectangle.
No, right.
That's why he didn't have no money.
No. And now that you say that, my joke was the brokest man in South Florida. How in the hell does he have all these girlfriends? And how in the hell does he even fly? Like, I just want to know. So me and my girl would be like, because
he don't got no bills. That's fine.
There was no overhead.
You were with him for 3 years though, and you didn't like tell. You gotta explain this.
Then I was finding out, and then he rented an apartment with his best friend. I'm like, best friend. So I'm like, who's this? And so I saw who it was. It was his ex-girlfriend, best friend. So I'm like, okay, so let me just like benefit of the doubt. Like, let me see if she follows me on Instagram. Let me see who she, you have to kind of like, because I'm not going to jump to conclusions because she was also helping him do his marketing. So now they're,
they best friend, business partners.
Thank you. Signing
they had their own situationship, roommates.
He printed out the contracts right here. And so I was like, so him and her were having a relationship when she first moved in. I figured a lot of stuff out, right? But look, I'd be asking him questions. I don't feel like fighting. Now listen, I'll have time. I'm building myself. I'm building. So while you're playing me, you could play me because I'm still building. I'm still working on myself, meaning like my career. Like you're not going to stop me from, launching magazine covers or doing this and doing that. But I'm gonna play your private role. I'm gonna play this whole private life that you keep telling the media that you don't talk about your, whatever, and that's fine. So then all last year, COVID kept everybody at home more so, right? No. I mean, I wasn't traveling a lot.
And didn't you just get off probation last year too then?
Yes, December 2020.
Okay.
Wow.
So here I am on probation, working on myself in this situationship, and just trying to figure out life still. And like I even thought to myself, when I get off of probation, let me try to meet somebody and see. And because if Anthony doesn't swing my way, I'm going to find somebody else. Right. Because I'm going to be off probation. And now I can just do anything I want to do.
What I want. Yes.
Passport, travel, everything is renewed. I'm ready. So all of a sudden, this all just happened. So all of a sudden, him and I were getting real closer. And I'm like, something must have happened. Because you can feel it as a woman.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute. And his career was taking off again. He signed his contracts with Bellator. I'm like, okay, his best friend started following me on Instagram. I'm following her. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Some other people he knew, other women he knew, started following me. And I'm like, maybe this is cool. Like, these are his friends. And they're being my friend. Right? No, that's not it. No.
What was it?
They was trying to see what's up with the what's up. The same way you was trying to see what's up with the what's up.
Damn.
Right. Yeah. But mind you, I kept telling him, you just got to be straight up with me. You just got to be straight up. Because I'm the type of female that if you start, you can tell me anything. Just let me decide, please.
Yes.
I'm not going to judge. Right.
We always ask that and they never just tell you straight up. They gotta get caught. And even when they get caught, they still ain't gonna tell you the truth. You gotta and that's why women end up doing their own research and having to search things because And then, so look, you did take control of your life and your body, and you started fitness, right? And you started doing fitness. So, and I feel like that is a way to be like, okay, let me just get myself back to where I need to be. So talk about that journey.
Okay, so that journey with fitness was really exciting because that was building purpose. And even when people would ask me, because getting out of this, the incarceration, I'm like, okay, so now I can learn more about my body. I can focus on myself. I can make my body look different with these weight training and this and that. And I'm over 40 and my ass is dropping. Let's get it together, okay? You know, because I worked out when I was incarcerated, I worked out like a beast, but it's not the same.
Right.
When you come out to society and you're actually at a real gym, you know, with coaches and you're learning so much and the food you're able to eat. Right. Yeah. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting more of a butt, or I can get abs. Like it's really cool. Like it's a wonderful experience to learn about your body. And I would always tell people, I'm not doing this to win, meaning like win on stage. I'm doing this for purpose. Everything that I went through, this is actually helping me with growth and who I am and feeling good about myself, you know, and I lost 10 years of my life.
Yeah. And you know, that journey for you with fitness started while you were incarcerated, like you said, for 10 years. Wow. So you were in the feds though, right?
Yes, I was in the feds, medium. I didn't want to go to Camp Cupcake, they call it, because they didn't have no weight training there. So I stayed under medium, behind the medium with more rules and stuff because I wanted to be able to work on my body, and that was my release and outlet.
How did they treat you there? Like how did the other women treat you? How did the COs treat you? Like what was that like?
It's different. So as I first got in, I was shell shocked. Like, you know, I was very nervous on the inside out. It was very hard. It was very difficult because I mean,
it's jail.
For the charge, let alone I got double time than what I thought I would get, like 121 months. I'm like, I didn't even calculate that during my court, like sentencing, you know what I mean? I was like, 121, how long is that? I was like, oh God. I looked back at my mom. I'm like, oh shit. But you know what? Give me that time. I'm doing my time. So I guess we all deal with stress differently. Me, I was also dealing with my ex-fiance and what we went through still, because I was using drugs to suppress what him and I went through. Right. So when I got locked up, I was trying like to explain to women my story, who I am, because we all are so close in there. Yeah. Whether we like each other or not, you're all going to be close, okay? And I would just start crying, just talking about it. And I was like, I'm not over this yet. You know, and that's when you know, like you're like, I'm not over this yet. So you start learning more about yourself and things that you're going through. And so knowing that I had all this time ahead of me, that's how you have to think to cope. And you have to figure out how you're going to do your time.
Right.
Are you going to eat and blow up? Are you going to like keep getting in trouble and going to the shoe? Are you going to fight? Or are you going to work on yourself? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, you can make your choice. Once again, make your choice, you know? I chose to work out. And yeah, when some women at first found out that I was adult film star, it was a little tough, but I know how to hold my own.
I know. Listen, Sabrina, I know they was all trying to wipe you up in there.
Yeah. Did you have a girlfriend in jail?
I did. So my first girlfriend relationship was in there. Because remember, I was comfortable with women anyway.
Right.
So in there, you get to choose girls that look like boys as well.
Okay.
It's a little confusing, but you know, we take what we can get. No, I'm kidding.
I probably would.
I'm gonna keep it real, Sabrina. Gigi had a girlfriend when she was locked up too. So
yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. And she was a girl that looked like a boy.
All right.
The only time I ever been with a girl that looked like a boy was when I was in jail. The only time.
God. Well, I have to tell you something. All the girls want them. All the girls want them. Like, you're like, oh my God. It's like having a man in there.
Right, right.
Yeah. It really was.
But my girlfriend, my girlfriend.
Some woman, like, oh my gosh, she's fine, but handsome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. So she looked at a boy and everything, and like she rode the lawnmower. And I was like, that's my girl.
That's my girl.
But you know, it's actually a good idea to bond in there. Bond, like, you know, because I couldn't keep myself isolated from even though I'm very good at doing that, I couldn't keep myself like that my whole duration. So that was a relationship I had for like 2.5 to 3 years, you know, and I stayed in contact with her even afterwards. And she was upset because I didn't want to continue the relationship. But, you know, I had to come out and do me.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the only relationship you had in there?
Well,
just that one girlfriend?
I messed around. I did mess around with some girls, but you gotta be real careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful because one wrong move, you have all these jealous women telling on you, you're going to the SHU, under investigation. It's like, because you're all living in a small world. Imagine 1,000 women on one compound. And sometimes you can't get away from women because you're confined behind closed doors. Like it's not cells. They're not cells. It's like a huge barn. And when they lock the doors at night, you're there, everybody.
Wow.
Are you more of a giver or a receiver?
I think I'm both, really. When it comes to, I guess it comes to a man, I guess I'm a giver too, but when it comes to a woman, I'm both. Like, you know, I guess whatever flies, you know, I'm the type of person, you know, let's just turn each other on, you know?
Right.
Yeah. You know, I mean, there's no rules.
Okay.
Cool.
Go slow.
All right. So fast forward, right? So you get out, but you guys are still cool, right? Even though you don't want to be with her anymore. On
Facebook, a lot of the girls that you do time with, we find each other and we all still support from afar. All of us. Like the girls, I don't go on my Facebook very much now, but I have it. And I have friended a lot of the girls because a lot of them like to see the growth and the support and the changes. On Instagram, some of them pay attention as well too, but Instagram's more like play. Facebook's more real, you know? You know, like real meaning like the real life and the profiles. Instagram, you know,
you can be whoever you want to be.
You can have exactly.
Right. Now, what about, you know, being from a family that your dad obviously was in the mafia, right? How do those people that he was affiliated with, like, how do they treat you now?
So I have not been able to keep contact, even though I was thinking about when I traveled up to New York City, I actually asked my ex-boyfriend, I was like, what do you think, babe, if when I travel up to New York City that I try to contact my godfather and ask him more questions about my family and my dad and stuff, you know, because I knew my dad's friends, Vinny, the Romano family. I went to dinner with Vinny when my dad left as a fugitive. Vinny contacted me. We went to have dinner, and he was actually, when I did my research, Vinny was a very nice to me, but within the system, a very dangerous guy. And he was my dad's friend. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm sitting with him at the dinner table, and he's making sure that I'm okay.
You're protected.
Yeah. So then that was kind of like different, you know, but here I'm thinking, it's just life. And Johnny Cirillo Sideburns, that's my godfather for real. And like, you know, when you're christened and born and everything. And I know him and he knows me. So growing up, there's a saying with the Italians, like anyone could say that they know you. Oh, I know her. Oh, I know him. No. But do they know you?
Right.
That's the question, right? Everybody wants to throw names, you know? So that's like the whole, you know, I met my godfather more than a few times. My godfather at one point, I heard my dad say, was banned from being in South Florida because he had a hit on a judge at one point. This is all news. This is all like, you know, so anything I'm saying or I'm repeating is already out there. Thank God. And, you know, so do I want to know more? Yes, I do. So I've researched and I'm actually a little bit like, wow, like I didn't know my dad was involved with such crime families. Like my dad was not the made man, But my godfather was way up there, and I think he still is. He's still alive.
Right.
So do you think now that so much time has passed, that life was so long ago that he lived, and, a lot of these people unfortunately aren't alive anymore, and, all of this stuff has happened. Do you think that now that you're older and all this time has passed, that you think that he would be more open with sharing these things and talking to you?
I would love it, because that would also help me.
Yeah, you need that.
Mm-hmm.
Which that would be interesting. So I don't have any problems reaching out to no one. Meaning, like, to me, would be a normal occurrence. Hi, how are you? Remember me? I'm the little girl. Your goddaughter. I'm gonna fly up to New York City. I'd love to meet with you. Can we do that? Like, I mean, I'm even trying to think of how can I word it. Yeah. I need to email him what, like, because now it's like the older people get, you don't know what means they use to communicate.
Right. Man, I hope that can happen for you, because I do feel like you need that connection. So how about your sister?
Oh, my younger sister, Farah. So I just have one. Farah, her and I are still very close. Okay. We've remained close no matter what. We're two different.
You guys have lived like opposite lives. Oh,
completely opposite lives. Yes, completely.
She's a school teacher. You were an adult star. You did time in the feds. You
fitness.
Yeah,
you have all of these things happening, and she's just been.
And by the way, she's very serious.
High school sweetheart.
She's very serious about her fitness, because she's even on the cover of, like, was it Muscle and Fitness?
Muscle and Fitness, yes. May issue. I was like, so still I'm thinking about what do I want to do? What goals do I want to reach right now before 50 years old? What do I want to do?
And so what is that? Are you thinking and you trying to figure that out, or you do have a goal already set?
I have another cover that I have an agreement on with a magazine in the United States, FHM, November. I'll be shooting for that in a few months.
Huge.
Yeah.
And that to me is my goal. And then I want to.
Well, congratulations.
Then I have to meet a man. Listen, I have to meet a nice guy. Come on.
Yeah.
But so what's a nice guy to you? I want to know that. And I got to ask you, do they have to be fit?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you really want to know?
Yes, we want to know. What's the ideal man?
At this point, respect and wealth. Respect and wealth. And communicate. I don't want that communication where I'm whining. I want that respect. Like, I need to just know certain things. I need things not put in front of my face. And because you know what? I don't know if I'm able to be with that type of man that is like, do you understand? Like, I don't know how to explain it. I think the only type of men that I'll really be really good with are ones that also have diverse characters. Since I have a diverse character, so I'm thinking like
they gotta have been through some shit. They gotta have been through some shit.
So I'm like, I always make jokes. But I was like, I need a retired an athlete who's retired. I need a rapper. I need somebody who
had some shit happen in their life so that they can understand that I done had some shit happen in my life and we just did each other.
Give me an example of like a person. It don't have to be that you want to get with them, but like a person like this person. Like who?
God. I have to say, like, I've seen lately a lot of people going through like doing time and dealing with some shit. A lot of people arrested in Miami, this and that. I couldn't like name one guy. I mean, I wish it was my ex that we just broke up because he's been in trouble a few times. He's got even worse. I'm like, I
ain't gonna lie, Sabrina, you might need a nerd.
I know.
You might need the opposite. You might need the opposite.
A banker?
Yeah.
Maybe
you might need someone who hasn't been through that much so they can have that absorption to be able to take in all the shock you about to get them.
You need somebody somebody take care of you.
I know.
And understanding, somebody who is understanding.
And what the crazy part is just talking to you ladies about this. I'm just like, wow. Like, it's even overwhelming for me to like, even so you're right. And just to hear other women advise me or share this, it does help too.
Right. Because I feel like you've had a very thrilling life, right? But maybe you don't need that in a relationship.
Like
maybe
this there's no
calm
more
it down.
pills. Like maybe no more.
Calm it down.
Can I just live large? I will
Absolutely.
run around the mansion naked daily. I don't
Yes,
care.
ma'am.
But can I live large, please?
And we calling the little thotty bodies for the threesomes.
We're gonna put you on one of them millionaire baby websites or something like that, the little sugar baby website. Because honestly, I feel like those guys are the guys that are gonna cheat on you, that have had those type of lives. Those guys are the ones that are still gonna be doing their bullshit.
Yeah.
And they got their own issues. Do we really need, do we really need to bring those issues into your issues?
Right. Because then it's just too many going on. So I'm thinking like, okay, so now that I've been broken up for 30 days, 30 days, God, let me get through this, right? I got to get through this now. Heal. I'm still healing. I mean, I'm a human being.
You're still going through the breakup process.
Yeah,
You got to think, if y'all were together for that long, 3 years, and it's only been 30 days.
And he was together with another woman for 5 years, and then the other woman for 3 years.
How does he have time?
Okay, how does he do it? He's experienced. One was in Las Vegas. The other one was in Orlando, 3 hours from me, and he's 35 minutes from my home.
Right. We're in this. He was in Easy Storage, 30 minutes from your home.
Easy Storage.
And yeah,
in the air conditioned unit. Okay?
You can definitely do better than that. Trust and believe.
Right. So now he just fought his first fight, and
with his new contract,
he just won.
Let me see. He won.
He won. Hallelujah. He won. And guess what? I kept telling my girlfriends. Not 45 days ago, I said to my girlfriends, "We're gonna see what happens after his first fight. We're gonna see," because I feel like my gut instincts were telling me a lot.
Has he been in contact with you since the breakup?
We've kept it kind of quiet.
Well, oh God!
He came to the door one time, and he came, and I'll say it. So you guys are gonna kill me.
You gave him some breakup booty, girl.
No, he paid me all my money back.
Oh,
hey!
Okay, yeah.
No, that's a good thing.
We didn't have to bring him to a lawyer.
That's better than breakup booty. We always want the check.
Well, the booty. Okay, so don't get me wrong. The sex was the best I've ever had.
That's why I asked if you give me some breakup.
Tell me why. Tell me why. What made it so great?
No, the chemistry, and like he knew how to do me like just right, and like I can't believe at my age, a man. Well, then hold up, I was locked up, so maybe there's more out there that will do. I don't know. I wasn't.
Did you squirt? Did you squirt?
What? Yeah.
Did you squirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he can make me squirt like this, and I'm not a squirter.
Okay.
Yeah.
You the squirt champ.
Yeah.
UFC squirting.
Something with this guy, man. But then he had how many girls? Just think. I mean, this is a player. Honey, come on.
Right.
He was actually doing this. Oh, so I still talk to one of the girls. Because the girl that contacted me, she's like,
y'all are like sister wives.
Hi, how are you? Are you seeing, can I say his name or no? No.
That's good.
Yeah. Are you seeing Anthony Rumble Johnson? I'm like, hi, how are you? Yes, I have been. How are you doing? And ever since then, for 30 days, I've been talking to that lady every day. I said, you know what?
Damn.
She was with him for 5 years and she was devastated. So I started bonding with her. I'm not against women when a man cheats, it's his fault.
Right. It's not her fault.
Sometimes.
Right. So now I know. Right. So now there's a twist to the story. Because if a woman is shaking her thing in front of a man who's taken, that's not right too.
Right.
But then again, I'm like, but hold up. That man needs to be a little bit more stronger with his thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's his responsibility.
Right. So I don't even know which way to turn now. So I didn't get mad at the girls. I didn't. There was a girl, the girl in Vegas. I was messaging with her and voice messaging. We were doing it like for hours. Like it felt like we were our support system.
Wow.
And
but is any of y'all still messing with him?
I'm sure there's somebody still messing with him, but I'm not.
But out of the three of you, though,
yeah. I think the girl in Las Vegas is still messing with him, but because she said to me, she thought the goodness in her was going to change who he was. I said, oh, no, honey, I'm sorry. But okay, I'm not going to tell this lady, no, that's not going to happen. Because you know what? Let me just sit back and watch. We'll see if your whole goody two-shoe goodness is going to change him, because he is who he is. He's going to do what he wants to do. And I asked her, I said, so when you guys supposedly get married and whatever else that he's blowing smoke, I said, so what are you going to do then? Because he hasn't seen you for a whole year.
This is giving Why Do Fools Fall in Love. I'm Mrs. Frankie Lyman.
So I said, what are you going to do when he cheats? Oh, I'm going to kick him out. I'm like, so why are you with him? This is who he is. So,
yes, it's what he does.
Period.
That's it. But I knew him. So I knew how he was. But I didn't know he was so experienced and vicious with it. Do you understand? Like, there's a cheater, and then there's a lying cheater. Like, it's
like he's a piece of shit. Okay. Well, I am glad you got your money back. I will say that.
Me too,
girl. No,
because there's nothing worse than with somebody owe your money.
Because I was, since September, when he was dropped by what's it called, by a company, a sponsor. I was like, oh baby, oh my God, I need for you to do your career. Here I am, the stupid girl. I'm like, here, baby. I'm like, okay, what do you need? What are your bills? Okay, took care of him up until, but I knew, I just had this feeling he's gonna pay me back. He's gonna pay me back. There's just no way.
Right.
There's just no way.
I don't want to have to. I don't have to call my godfather. Okay.
And he knows my past, everything. That's why I thought he wasn't going to screw me over. Like, tell me what's going on, please, because I will gladly move on. Gladly. Like, they can have you and they can be in turmoil, but just let me move on, because I have a whole new life. Meaning, like, I'm trying to. I got out of prison. I want to like experience life again, not be in some kind of drama.
Yeah.
And look, you're off of, probation now.
Now I am.
Like, it's a big deal. So we want to celebrate with you. But Sabrina, listen, we appreciate you so much for being so open about everything you've been through.
Yes,
we can't wait for the movie. We can't wait for the movie.
Yes, movie. That's what you need to be working on. You need to be working on a movie deal. Because your life it should be in cinema. Okay.
I've been told that. So now that I keep hearing it, okay, moving forward. Okay. Thank you, ladies, so much. I had such a great time.
Thank you for sharing.
Now, and we love to see like the experiences and the hardships that you've been through, but to see you come out through the other side as a better person,
and I want
and
that's what matters most.
I want my stories to help other women to realize they're not the only ones. And we all are going through shit. No matter where we're at or what level,
Absolutely.
Right. Let me ask you this. You had a girlfriend while you were in jail. What if you met a guy who was locked up and he said he had a boyfriend just while he was in jail?
I can't think about that.
Judgment zone.
Like, okay, so I'm open-minded, right? But
all right.
Okay, but I'm just not. Oh. Okay, so if it's the past, and if you go get tested, and I make sure that mother sucker is clean, I mean, you got to stay clean, because it just goes far. Like, I think about so much. I do. Right. I get tested all the time.
Yeah, you got to think of everything.
I get tested all the time still. And I'm glad I do, because look, I was with somebody who was running around.
Ooh, right.
Feels
Period. Okay, so it is possible.
It's possible, because you know what? I don't judge.
Right.
Because who's to say that my knight in shining armor
didn't have a boyfriend when he was in jail?
As they call it. That's what they call it. Gay for stay.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah.
Well, Sabrina, where can people find you?
Okay, my Instagram is Sabrina_Sidoti. Sidoti.
Okay. Well, we thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And we're looking forward to the FHM cover, Muscle and Fitness cover. You can see that right now. And you look amazing.
Thank you
so thank you so much.
I had a great time.
Thank you.